Should I just make this into like a mukbang episode where I just eat into my microphone?
Is it mukbang or is it mukbang?
Oh, I have no idea. Wow, mukbang maybe makes more sense. Wow, maybe I don't know anything. Chicken. I'm eating chicken.
I'm drinking tea.
Welcome to another high production value episode of Oddities. I'm Cassie.
And I'm Kellie. And welcome back to Strange
There you go, you
Tale.
said it.
Boom, boom, boom. Sorry, I just really wanted to say that.
Hit it. Take it away.
All of our stuff is linked down below. Please email us with your spoogala-boogala stories or any topics that you may have.
Yeah.
We love to hear them and read them. Well, read them because we don't hear them.
We're getting close. I think we only need like one or two more for a listener's episode. So somebody step up to the plate.
Somebody step up to the plate. Share it.
Make it happen.
We're here for you. We're here to support you.
Mm-hmm.
This helps heal whatever spoogala-boogala crap happened to you. Just saying.
Big time.
Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Join our Patreon. We're having a freaking party over there
Woo, woo, woo.
every other week. It's glorious. Thank you to Lindsay Bidwell for our amazing merch. By this time this comes out, there have been new merch that dropped. You guys are in for it. I'm sure you're guys
in
all
for
love
it
by now, actually. And I think that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well done, you.
So how are you, bestie? Because we haven't
talked much this week.
Well, we've talked, but we haven't recorded in a week.
We haven't. I am great. We got back last weekend from the Finger Lakes. That was fun. We did your favorite location. It was great. First of all, if anybody ever goes, highly recommend staying at the Blushing Rose Bed and Breakfast. Tammy and Scott are gems.
That is the cutest name.
It is the cutest bed and breakfast
I've ever heard.
It is fucking adorable. And Tammy, I swear to fucking God, like every morning it was like restaurant quality breakfast. Fucking out of this world. So good. And we did some like, I'm sorry, I'm just hungry, so I'm just eating. We did like a pretty good balance of doing shit and then doing nothing at all. So like we got in like 9 miles of hiking, tons of photography, some museums, some wineries, some distillery.
You guys really did cover it all.
But then we also, in the afternoon, like almost every afternoon, we came back and we were like, okay, let's take like a nap. So it was exactly what I needed, honestly. So yeah.
That's good energy.
It was great. Work was a shit show, of course, when I got back because I was out. So then it's like the catch-up game. And then I'm getting ready to be out again because I'm going to be having my surgery. So it's like everybody's like, ah! You know, so it's just a lot at the moment. But otherwise, things are good. And we're painting today. I've got on my Sunday best for you, bestie. I've got paint all over my Jack Daniels t-shirt.
I'm technically still in my pajamas.
So we're just killing it as per usual. What how ye be? What's the latest and greatest?
How I be. So actually I didn't tell you this.
Oh my God, okay.
So it was like the week before you went to the Finger Lakes. It was the sun, like literally right after we had recorded.
Hold on, there's literally something I haven't known this long.
Yeah, because I was fucking embarrassed.
Oh, good. Now you really have to tell me. Okay.
And I'll send you the photo of it. I jumped into my bed and injured the crap out of my foot.
Oh my God.
And not from the jumping part. No, it got caught on like so the end of our bed has a bench on it and it got caught on that.
I'm not even surprised though because it's you. So like if it was gonna be anybody.
I was on the phone with my sister and I was like, ow, that really hurt. Like that's worse than hitting your elbow. Holy shit, ow. And she's like, ice, elevate it. And I went to go put ice on it and I like pointed my toes up and I was like, holy shit, I can't do that. That hurts. And she goes, Did you break it?
And
I was like, No, I didn't break it. But I was like, Stacey, if I break this, if I had broken my ankle just now, this is worse than when I broke my wrist picking up a nickel. And that's a story for another day for everyone. But
I can't.
It ended up being such pretty colors.
Oh, okay.
That's all I'm going to say. And it's still pretty bruised. So that was fun. And it happened to be on it was the foot that's on the leg that's still having a muscle recovery issue. So
oh my
God,
God,
been hobbling around like a penguin, and it's been kind of interesting.
Oh my God. Well, at least it's getting like a little bit better, but this is, like I said, I'm nuts. This is classic you is what it is, and I'm sorry that happened.
I am so terribly accident prone.
Like,
it's ridiculous.
It's so accident prone. I feel awful.
It's
that this happened.
And here's the funny thing. It's not even as bad as it used to be.
Oh my God.
I don't even want to talk about how many times I got pulled out of class to ask if I was okay because they thought I was being abused at home.
There was a period of time when I was growing up, like when I was really young, where I kept fucking hurting myself and I kept having to go to the hospital for like x-rays, and literally like they were like, my mom had to leave and they were like, is something wrong at home? I was like, no, I fell off a fucking swing set. Like,
but did you?
But did I? Yeah. Oh my God. Well, I'm sorry. I hope it's on the up and up.
It is on the up and up now.
That's good.
It's just like, I'm like, how did I
couldn't.
What did
how? It's a talent.
And, like, the worst part? Yeah, it is a talent. The worst part, Michael wasn't even home.
Oh my God.
He was out surprising me. He went out to go buy me some cast iron pans.
Michael, very thoughtful.
It was so sweet. And so he came home and he's like, "You're limping."
Statement. Not even a question. You're limping.
And he's like, "What? Like, how?" So
I love that.
There's that. So yeah, like that's all I have. We're double recording today, so I'm purposely saving one other thing for the next session.
Oh Jesus, I did the thing I didn't say.
I forgot to remind you. No. You do have something. You do have something, and when I say my thing, you're gonna be like, and speaking of that, and you're gonna know. You're just gonna.
Okay, I did just think of one other thing too. So it's okay, everybody. Everybody can calm down. We can all sleep tonight. It's okay. I saved something for next week.
You don't have to worry. Next episode, Cassie will
have
something for you guys.
Yes. Well, this is a record time for us, I think, by the way. This is only like 7 minutes. We shaved off 3 minutes. Does that mean we've shaved off 3 like minutes of intolerable? By the way, I told my coworkers that. They thought that was the funniest shit. That now I keep nuking this poor person that left that review. Oh my God, they love it so much.
I wonder if they've ever came back to try to listen again. And they just hear them getting shit on.
I fucking hope they did come back to listen again. I really do. Are you listening? Am I still intolerable?
Are we still intolerable? Let us know. Don't leave us a review.
Let us know in the comments.
Just message us.
Yeah, that's right. Oh my God, what a hot mess express we're on this morning.
I love that.
I do too. I can't remember which of us started last time. It's been ages, so I don't know.
It was you.
Me, so that means you.
Actually, I have to say something. It was my turn to edit last week.
Right.
And I had to re-listen to it at least 5 times because we were so perfectly in sync and literally nothing had to be edited.
Oh my God.
Literally, except for adding in our intro and adding in our outro, nothing had to be edited. And I was like so convinced that I was just like not.
You were just like hallucinating.
That I was hallucinating. I am dead serious. I was like, we are so perfect. And I'm like, I'm not surprised, but also like, what?
That's like a unicorn of an episode. I love that.
I was like, I am so happy, but like, wow.
But then were you also like, because I've had something similar where it's only been like one change that I've had to make, and then I'm also simultaneously pissed because I'm like, well, now I set out this chunk of time to edit this shit, and like it didn't need to be edited.
Kind of, yeah. And so, and then like, I mean, I've got kids and they're always interrupting, right? So I'm like, I had to have missed something. I had to have just missed something. So that was the other reason I just kept listening.
Oh my God.
But no, we were literally perfect.
Well, thank you for your thoroughness, and way to go, us.
For anybody, I mean, I'm pretty sure all of our listeners know this now, but like, you're on the East Coast, I'm on the West Coast. We're really like, sometimes we're just like a few seconds off. Not this time.
Amazing.
It's like we're best friends or something.
One would think. Oops, I just bitch slapped my microphone. I hope that showed up. Oh yeah, it definitely showed up. Oops. Anyway, enjoy that. So remember when we were like, oh, we made up time, and now
sorry guys,
we're just fucking with you. Okay, so
So
then
because I listened to it 5 times, I know that you started last
I'm
week.
very impressed even still that you remember it because I even if I had listened to it 5 times, I'd be like, now who did what? So would you like to take it away to start us off this time?
Sure, but I'm gonna say mine's really heavy.
Oh,
This
okay.
is a disclaimer for listeners. Suicide, cult followings, massive traumas.
General dead people.
This is your warning. If this is something that's going to trigger you, I encourage you to please skip forward to Cassie.
And actually mine's like very nerdy and sciency, so jump on that bandwagon,
I
y'all.
like how we're gonna end with
Big
that
time.
then.
Yeah, we're ending with a bang, baby. Let's do it.
So, I'm covering Jim Jones today, and I'm gonna start off by saying if what?
My mind did the dumbest thing where you said Jim and I was like, what's the full name of Jim? Jimothy? What the fuck is wrong with me? Okay, I'm sorry. Jim Jones, carry on. I'm so stupid. Okay, actually,
Um,
just call him Jimothy Jones from now on, please.
Jimothy
That's it.
Jones.
Okay.
Okay. So, if you heard of a progressive church and a progressive church leader, and he does great things for the community, helping the homeless, fighting racism, fighting, for the right things in the world, but he also tells you he has psychic abilities and can heal you, what would you do?
Wow, honestly, I don't know if I'd sign up to begin with because I'm just like so not religious. But I'd probably be like, tell me more about these psychic abilities, bitch.
So, Jim
Jimothy.
Jones, born James Warren Jones, was born May 13th, 1931. He came from a standard American family and was a regular churchgoer. Throughout his childhood and adulthood, he always attended church. After graduating from Butler University, he decided to enter the ministry.
Hmm.
In the 1950s and 60s in Indianapolis, Indiana, Jones gained a reputation as a charismatic churchman who, again, claimed to have psychic abilities and powers.
So
And I'm like, for me, that's a red flag.
yeah, that's like big like charlatan energy, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's like the
Um,
same thing as like those like Bible Belt preachers that are like, and now this paralyzed person can walk. And it's like, all right, bro.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he claimed that his powers gave him the ability to foretell the future and miraculously could heal those who were sick.
Oh,
So,
there you have
yeah,
it. Same.
it,
Okay.
it gives that very. Um, he was a very vocal. He was very vocal about racial and integration, a position that ran afoul for some church elders. People didn't want to integrate churches. People didn't want to have integration at all.
Okay. Well, I like,
people
I
suck.
mean, I like that part of his like shtick. Yeah.
Right. Um, in 1955, he established the Wings of Deliverance, a Pentecostal church that later became known as the People's Church. During this time, Jones was built. During this time of like everything, he was building the church he is known for, which is the People's Temple. Ultimately, that's where it turned culty. Was the
I
People's
think we just have to
Temple?
go ahead and say it now. If it quacks like a duck, it's a cult.
It's a cult. Quack quack
Cult,
cult.
cult, 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 culty. Big cult, cult. How are you going to have a church
Um.
called the Wings of Deliverance and not have that be a cult? Like,
Ooh. Was it a duck?
oh, the
Duck
Wings?
wings.
Oh,
Get it?
fuck. Get out of town. All right, carry on.
Um. He became known for his work with the homeless, and in the early 1960s, he served as director of Indianapolis's Human Rights Commission. So, like, again, doing really good
Yeah,
things.
he had some good shit going on, you know, minus the whole
Yeah,
whatever else is about to come. Yeah.
I feel like he was doing good stuff to cover the red flag stuff, but I believe all of this, all of his good doings is how he got his following,
Probably so. I think that's
essentially.
probably a
You know,
solid argument.
he began to fear nuclear war, so he relocated his church and the congregation to Northern California in 1965, first settling.
Of course it's California.
What?
Of course they go to
Of
California.
course, it's California.
Yep.
First settling in a small town in Northern California, and then eventually moving to San Francisco in 1971. Of course, it's San Francisco.
And of course, we're in the 70s now too. It's all.
I don't know if you guys remember, but that's where Charles Manson started his following, was San Francisco.
This is all very on brand. This is very, very culty. Yeah.
Yeah. Following the move, Jones, who now adopted the name The Prophet, quack quack duck, or quack quack cult.
Quack quack cult. Okay. The Prophet. And I bet you it was capitalized.
Oh, totally. He became obsessed with power. Before long, he began to face various allegations, most notably being that he was illegally diverting the income of the cult members to his own use.
Oops.
Because that's what you do. Since he had all of these allegations, he and hundreds of his followers fled the country and moved to Guyana.
Okay.
And set up an agriculture commune. Again.
Okay, here
quack,
we
quack
go.
Cult.
Boy, this guy is a walking cliche. Okay.
And they named it Jamestown.
Oh, Lord. Okay, yes, here we come. Okay.
Do we know what we're talking about? Who we're talking about?
We're picking up what you're putting down now. First of all,
as the ruler... sorry, go ahead.
They missed out on calling it Jimothy Town, but it's fine.
They
really missed
You're
the boat
not wrong.
there. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They really missed a good brand.
Big time,
yep.
big time, big time.
As the ruler, yes, he called himself a ruler of the commune, Jones confiscated all passports and millions of dollars from the cult members and manipulated them with threats of blackmail, beatings, and probable death. He also staged bizarre rehearsals for a ritual mass suicide.
And so nobody was like, Jimothy.
Nobody's... Well, and they couldn't leave.
I guess they couldn't, because they took their shit. What a fucking douchebag. Well, this guy's an asshole.
Yeah, everything was good until they couldn't leave because he had his passport. He had their passports and he had their money.
Also, this guy's
how could they get away?
Big time. And this guy's an indecisive bitch. You can't be both a prophet and a ruler. I mean, we can't just pick one. Just pick one, you fucking asshole.
Love that. So, now I'm switching to my computer for the rest of my notes. On November 14th, 1978, U.S. Rep. Leo Ryan of California arrived in Guyana with a group of reporters and relatives of the cultists who conduct an unofficial investigation of alleged abuses.
Okay.
Because, again,
snaps for this group, yeah.
4 days later, as Ryan's party and 14 defectors from the cult prepared to leave from an airstrip near Jonestown, Jones ordered the group assassinated.
Oh, fuck.
However, only Ryan and 4 others, including 3 reporters, were killed. Fearing that those who had escaped might bring authorities, Jones activated his suicide plan. So, friends, at this point, this is where you're going to learn the term, don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Mm-hmm.
This is just wild to me. They carried out this mass suicide essentially as like a giant barbecue, which sounds horrific, I realize that. But they made Kool-Aid laced with arsenic. Mm-hmm. And everyone was to drink it. On November 18th, he commanded his followers to drink this... Oh, I'm sorry, cyanide.
Cyanide, okay.
Drink the cyanide-altered punch and ordered the vast majority of them to passively and inexplicably obeyed, and Jones himself died with an assisted gunshot to his head. So he didn't drink the Kool-Aid.
No, he was like, have some Kool-Aid,
he had one
and
of
then
his...
somebody shot him.
Yes, yeah.
What did the person do who shot him? Did they then drink Kool-Aid?
I believe it was self-inflicted shots to those people as well. Okay. The Guyana troops reached Jonestown the next day, and the death toll of cultists was eventually placed at 913, including 304 who were under the age of 18.
Oh, jeez.
Some death tolls include the 5 people at the airstrip, bringing that number of deaths to 918.
Holy crap.
This, I don't want to encourage anybody to like look up photos, but there are a lot of photos online of overview flying over this commune,
I'm gonna look it up.
and it's horrific. It's literally a bunch of dead bodies. Not only if people were too scared to drink the punch and tried to run away, the people with guns shot them and killed
It
them.
is so many dead bodies. Like this is gonna sound terrible, but if you look at it before you like click into a bigger image, it just looks like almost like a lot of litter on the ground, and then you click into it and you're like, this is all
Yeah,
dead people. That's horrific.
yeah. Um, this was such a massive point in history
Yeah.
that it's shocking to me that it's not talked about more and educated more, because I mean, he's not the last cultist. There's still more cults out there. What's shocking to me is how he got that many followers,
I know.
because not all cults get that high in number, and how he managed to get passports, steal their money. They blackmailed, they beat, they like threatened death if you left, and they still died.
Yeah.
And it brings a lot of questions as to like, if you were stuck in that position, would you just go ahead because you don't see any foreseeable way out otherwise?
Yeah, it's hard to say. This guy's such a fucking schmuck. What a dick. I mean, really.
I want that on a shirt.
This guy's such a fucking schmuck. What a dick. Big time. I would wear it. I would wear it. I mean, seriously, what an asshole. What a fucking dweeb. I hate him. Like,
Yeah.
I hate him.
Definitely not the greatest person in history. And this man also had 9 children.
Jesus Christ. And then, like, on
Some of them are still surviving today.
the worst part is like, we
But-
had, like, glimmers of hope there, right? Like, he was like, and
Oh,
like,
yeah.
integrate the churches and, like, some of this good shit. And then all of a sudden...
Which ultimately, looking back now, yeah, let's integrate the churches. I want more people.
Right, exactly.
I want more
So I'm
followers.
sure it was not with probably like
Good
pure
intentions?
intentions, yeah, but like, and then all of a sudden he's like, I'm the prophet. I'm the ruler. Drink my Kool-Aid.
Yeah, here's the thing I'm going to say right now. If you're ever in a church setting or something along those lines and the person goes, I am the prophet, run.
Yeah, like can we not?
That is a very big red flag. Run.
Even if they are not a cult leader, they are most certainly an asshole.
It's
So I mean, like,
yeah, and they're like, there is some pretty solid statements in the Bible of do not put any other gods or prophets before me. So
yeah.
I'm just that doesn't sound right. Religious standings, just saying.
No.
I knew that this topic was going to be really heavy, so I want to apologize to our listeners. However, again, I wanted to cover it because I find cults fascinating. Not that I want to join any of them, but more of like, let's educate so that young people don't fall into it.
Yeah, big time. Also, I just
You
have to
know.
say, like, and this is not me trying to make light of the situation because this is a horrible thing. I hate Kool-Aid. Like, it's really gross. I'm pretty sure even if they had been like, now drink this, I don't know, I would have been like, no.
No, I don't like artificial
Do
dyes.
you have Sprite? I'm such a piece of
With a
shit.
little bit of-
I would make the worst cult follower. Do you know that? Like, I would be horrendous. The only cult that I subscribe to is Taylor Swift, our Lord and Savior.
There you go.
That's it.
There you go. So again, children. I'm not calling our listeners children. So again,
Kids.
Odd Family.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I mean, yeah.
I know I accidentally said this last time, but truly, if it quacks like a duck, it's a cult.
Mhm,
Run.
it is. So, like, yeah. Holy cow. What a shit show. That guy's such a fucking God. I mean, all right. Should we count the number of times I've called this guy some kind of a name this episode? What are we up to? Like 20? I just, like, I can't fucking stand. I can't.
And
Wow.
I'm really surprised with, I see how it was done now. I think that's what I'm most fascinated with is how
Yeah.
do cult leaders get their followings? And from the beginning, it was like, this is how he did it. He disguised good deeds with an ulterior motive.
I mean, I kind of.
And
Sorry, go ahead.
I don't know. I don't know if it was his plan from day one to have this mass suicide ritual, whatever he wants to call it. But I have to wonder, what drugs were you on also?
Oh, well, yeah, this was a 70s baby.
Yeah, I just like
Everybody
so
was
many
high
questions.
as a kite. But like, it kind
Yeah.
of like, even like talking about cults the way we have the last couple of times, like, I can't help but draw parallels in my mind even to like Nazi Germany.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just like so disgusting that we have these things throughout history, and it's just like these awful, awful people doing these awful fucking things. And I just, as we all are keenly aware, I hate people. So this just reinforces that. Thank you.
Yeah.
The end. Like,
You're welcome.
I mean, holy cow.
Yeah.
Solid covering of it, though. Well done, you. But what a topic.
And I really wish I had done this, but yesterday I was like really debating whether or not to call my grandparents
Ooh.
to just hear, what did you see in the news during this time? What were your thoughts on it? I didn't have the mental capacity to do so. So
I mean, I get that.
I didn't, but I'm still curious.
You could always,
So,
I mean, you could always call them another time. Yeah, and just.
Yeah. I also want to shout out two people,
Ooh.
Jess and Liz. Thank you for indulging me on my cult questions, because I called them and I was like, I'm going to ask you a question. And I want your opinion. And it was the same question I asked you at the beginning. Would you, if this progressive church leader, and he's doing all these good deeds, doing all these great things, except now he's saying he's a psychic and he can heal people.
Yeah.
Would you follow? And Liz, no. Immediately no. And Jess, well, I have problems following any religion. So
That was like my answer. There you go.
And I was like, so this was miraculously Jimothy Jones. And
the Jimothy Jones.
The Jimothy Jones. And Liz immediately goes, oh, hell no. And Jess, who's that?
Oh my.
So I explained, and she's like, oh yeah. Wow, no.
Oh my God. Well, thanks, Jess and Liz. What would you do? I'm gonna take it you also would be like, no.
No.
Yeah.
Just immediately no.
Yeah.
I would. Well, I have strong intuitions about things.
You do.
So, I don't know, if a church leader all of a sudden started telling me they had psychic abilities and stuff, I would start going, okay, so are you going to start selling snake oil now too?
Yeah, I would say, and what drugs are we on today?
And how much of the offering, or the is it communion? Yeah, communion did we partake in this morning?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Hit that blood of Christ, baby. Okay.
That is Jimothy Jones.
Good old Jimothy.
Do not drink the Kool-Aid, and quack, quack, cult, run away.
Better yet, kids, don't drink anything unless you pour it yourself. The end.
Yes.
Ladies, I'm looking at you at clubs.
Drink responsibly.
People are fucking assholes.
Drink responsible.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they are.
That's the message of today is that people are fucking assholes. Oh my God.
There you go.
Okay. Wildly different direction from mine. We're getting anthropological.
Good.
We're getting scientific. We're getting evolutionary. We're talking about the Deniosvans. This is from none other than cousin Caitlin. We have to have her on. Like,
yes,
we have to have her back again. Big time.
But back to what I was about to say. Thank you, cousin Caitlin.
Thank you, cousin Caitlin. So the Denisovans, or Denisova hominins, are an extinct, well, they're thought to be an extinct species or subspecies of archaic human that ranged across Asia during the lower and middle Paleolithic age. So Denisovans are known from a few physical remains, and consequently most of what is known about them actually comes from DNA evidence rather than like fossil or remains.
Oh, okay.
Which is interesting. And no formal species name has been established pending more complete fossil material because there's a distinct lack of it right now. But all they know is like, hey, we've got this DNA, and we're like, this doesn't quite, like, it's kind of like its own thing. It's like kind of crazy when you think about it, right? So the first identification of a Denisovan individual occurred actually back in 2010. And it was based on something called mitochondrial DNA, which is extracted from it was extracted from a juvenile female finger bone, which was excavated from the Siberian Denisova cave. Hence the name Denisovans.
Okay.
You looked like you were going to laugh. Finger lakes. Finger lakes. And this was in the Altai Mountains. And so the finger was actually found in like 2008. Then nuclear DNA indicates close affinities with Neanderthals. So they're like kind of cousins, I guess, in terms of species, sort of.
Yeah.
So this cave was also periodically inhabited by Neanderthals, but it's unclear whether the Neanderthals and Denisovans ever like cohabited or like if it was like an offshoot or like, it's all very murky and weird. So additional specimens from the Denisova cave were subsequently identified, as was a single specimen from the Baixia Karst cave, which is on the Tibetan plateau, and also the Cobra Cave in the Annamite Mountains of Laos. So we're in like that region over there. And so DNA evidence suggests that they had dark skin and eyes and dark hair, and they had like a similar Neanderthal-like build and facial features, but they had bigger molars, which are reminiscent of middle to late Pleistocene archaic humans and Australopithecines. So they're like their teeth were bigger in the back,
Oh, okay.
probably because of their diet.
Oh,
It was like an evolutionary trait, is my guess, based
okay.
on what they were eating. So, anyway, apparently, Denisovans interbred with modern humans. Stay with me.
Okay.
So, the highest percentages, which is only like 5%, it's occurring in Melanesians, Aboriginal Australians, and Filipino Negritos. And there you have it. So
That's
they have like
interesting.
traces of this.
Yeah,
And I don't know, have you ever taken one of those like 23andMe?
I have.
Okay, and they'll like tell you what percentage like Neanderthal you are.
Yes. Do you want me to look up
Yeah.
my results? Shall I?
I want to know. I'll look up mine too. But anyway, the distribution suggests that there were Denisovan populations across Eurasia, the Philippines, and New Guinea, and or Australia, but this is can't be confirmed at this point. And then there's introgression into modern humans that could have occurred as recently as 30,000 years ago in New Guinea. So this is actually relatively, in the grand scheme of things, recent.
Yeah.
Like only 30,000 years ago. That's like, it could
It's
indicate
really,
that the
yeah.
population persisted as late as 14,500 years ago. That's like nothing in the span of existence. There's also evidence of interbreeding with the Altai Neanderthal population, with about 17% of the Denisovan genome from the Denisova cave deriving from them. And so a first generation hybrid, nicknamed Denny, do you have your number?
I'm signing in right now.
Oh, okay. Was discovered with a Denisovan father and a Neanderthal mother. And additionally, 4% of the Denisovan genome comes from an unknown archaic human species, which diverged from modern humans over 1 million years ago. So they're like kind of this like weird, mysterious like subspecies. There's still traces of them today. They're like relatively recent in a sense, but like we also at the same time have like next to no fossil remains. So it's really bizarre.
Yeah.
So, like I said, the fossils that we do have, they're like 5 distinct Denisovan individuals from the Denisova cave. They've been identified through ancient DNA, and so that's Denisova 2, 3, 4, 8, and 11 is what they're called. And then there's a mitochondrial DNA-based phylogenetic analysis of these individuals suggesting that Denisova 2 is the oldest, followed by 8, and then 3 and 4 were like about the same age. These specimens remain the only known examples of the Denisovans up until 2019, so super recent. You look like you're gonna laugh. How much
First
Neanderthal?
off, I signed up, and the first thing that pops up is that your Neanderthal has been updated.
Yes,
So I feel like
perfect.
it's meant to be. But I have 2% Neanderthal DNA.
Oh my god, bitch, look at you go. I wonder how
So,
much mine is. I have to look it up. I feel like I look like a Neanderthal because I have a very heavy brow bone and I'm like very
you do not look like a Neanderthal.
I feel like I look like a Neanderthal. I'm very I like self-conscious about my brow bone. Anyway, that aside, these were the only examples of Denisovans, like I said, until 2019, when a research group described a partial mandible discovered back in 1980 by a Buddhist monk in a cave on
Oh,
the Tibetan plateau.
right on.
And the fossil became part of the collection of Lanzhou, I'm not sure, University, where it remained unstudied until 2010. And then it was determined by ancient protein analysis to contain collagen that by sequence was found to have close affiliation to that of the Denisovans from the cave. So even
Okay.
though it was all the way over like where this Buddhist monk found it, they're like, oh, this is similar
Yeah.
relations, whatever. So Anyway, just some funky shit there. But anyway, the uranium decay dating of the carbonate crust and like that covered the mandible indicated that it was over 160,000 years old, and the identity of the population was later confirmed through a study of environmental DNA, which found Denisovan mitochondrial DNA in sediment layers ranging in date from 100,000 to 60,000 years before present, and perhaps more recent. So, anyway, there's like another one where they were excavating caves in the Laotian jungle of the Annamite Mountains. Um, and they recovered a human tooth, but the tooth like developmentally matches that of a 3.5 to 8.5 year old, and it lacked like a certain protein called amylogenin and it's on the Y chromosome, and it suggests that it belongs to a girl, barring extreme degradation of the protein over a long period of time. And then they try to do like a whole proteome analysis, and it was like inconclusive. But anyway, they found it anatomically comparable with the mandible that they found over in like the Tibet plateau. So meanwhile, we've got somebody now in Laos, this tooth. So evolutionarily speaking, if we were to sequence the mitochondrial DNA that was preserved by the cool climate of the cave, because the average temperature is at like freezing point in that cave, it was extracted from sample Denisova 3 by a team of scientists. It was like these scientists are from the Max Planck Institute for Evolutionary Anthropology in Leipzig, Germany. This is like a very prominent institute. I've heard of this before. They do like a lot of really cool shit. Anyway, the mitochondrial DNA differs from that of modern humans by 385 bases or nucleotides out of a total of like 16,500, whereas the difference between modern humans and Neanderthals is about 202 bases. So we're like a little more distantly related to these Denisovans than we are Neanderthals.
Okay.
We have I guess there's like less different bases, I guess you could say, between us and Neanderthals. So in comparison, the difference between chimpanzees and us as modern humans is about 1,462 mitochondrial base pairs. So it suggests basically that the Denisovan mitochondrial DNA diverged from that of modern humans and Neanderthals and then they give like, it's a huge range. It's like 1.3 million to like 779,000 years ago. But modern humans and Neanderthal DNA diverged between 618,000 and 321,000 years ago. So it kind of helps to start to establish sort of a timeline, but there's still so many missing pieces because like they can't totally classify this thing because again the fossils are so limited. So demographically, like I said, they're known to have lived in Siberia, Tibet, and Laos for now. I would wager there's a lot more out there somewhere probably in that region. But the mandible that they found, like that Buddhist monk found, is actually the earliest recorded human presence on the Tibetan plateau, which is crazy. And through their remains, or though the remains have been identified in only these 3 locations, traces of DNA in modern humans suggest that they ranged all across East Asia, potentially Western Eurasia. And then in like 2019, there is a geneticist, Guy Jacobs, and his colleagues, and they identified 3 distinct populations of Denisovans responsible for the introgression into modern populations that are now native to Siberia and East Asia, New Guinea, and like surrounding islands, and then Oceania, so like Australia and such. Little is known though about like the anatomical features of the Denisovans, other than like this tooth and like the finger bone and like a partial jawbone. That's like it, right? So, the finger bone is within the modern human range of variation for women, which is in contrast to the large, robust molars that they found. And the third molar is outside the range of any Homo species except Homo habilis and Homo rudolphiensis. And it's more like those of Australopithecus. So basically, the second molar is larger than those of modern humans and Neanderthals. And it's more similar to like predecessors. But then, like Neanderthals, the mandible has a gap behind the molars and the front teeth were flat. So like kind of in their teeth is kind of a what I would say is like a key anthropological connection, bridging the different species over time. That's what I would argue from all of this, basically. But anyway, in terms of like their culture, I mean, there's not a ton known. They did pull like early stone tools from the cave that were characterized by like disc-like cores. Um, there were like scrapers. There were notched tools. It's just kind of like not really like the artifacts themselves aren't like crazy distinct from what I could tell. There were also a lot of bone tools and like ornaments. There was a marble ring, there was an ivory ring, there was an ivory pendant, there was a red deer tooth pendant and an elk tooth pendant. And then also like a needle that was made out of bone for like sewing,
Oh, okay.
which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But Denisovans are only confirmed to have inhabited the cave for a specific period of time, so we can't actually say that all of these things truly belong to them. Like it could have, you know,
Yeah.
like there were other parties in here, you know. And then there is like this whole thing about interbreeding, right? So analyses of the modern human genomes indicate that there was past interbreeding with at least two groups of archaic humans, the Neanderthals and Denisovans, and that such interbreeding events occurred on like multiple occasions. And so I think that's kind of, you can see like a little bit of that well, not interbreeding, but like integration of like some of these, I guess, like anatomical features
Yeah.
that we're talking about. And so anyway, comparisons of the Denisovan, Neanderthal, and modern human genomes have revealed evidence of a pretty complex web of interbreeding among these lineages. And that is the Denisovans. They're still a pretty mysterious like group because there's just so little that exists, but they're like, yeah, this definitely exists and this is definitely something that we can't classify into these other groups.
Yeah.
It's just proof to me that like there's still so much shit we don't know.
It's crazy.
Right? Like when you think about it.
I've got 2%.
And you've got 2% Neanderthal. I need to look up mine. I don't remember what my
login is.
I gotta find my login, but yeah, what is it? 23andMe? Let's see. I think my sister-in-law or my brother-in-law had like more Neanderthal than like a big. It was really funny when they took the test. I can't remember what it was. We like all died.
Well, it is kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious. Let's see. Okay. Sign in with Goggle.
And in total, I have 256 traits or variants.
Damn, girl. There you go. Let's see.
Wow, this even breaks it down to the scientific details of it. That's really freaking cool.
I gotta find it. Where can I find it? By the way, guys, not sponsored, but we would like to be.
Yes, 23andMe, help us out. When I signed in, it said my next reports, and it was literally the first thing there.
Mine doesn't. Your next reports. Mine's all about things that are wrong with me. Let's see. Fear of public speaking, not likely. It doesn't bother me at all. Health ancestry report. I bet you it's going to be somewhere on here.
Neanderthal.
Show me the Neanderthal. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see it. I'll have to search for it and see if I can.
We'll have to update our listeners.
Yeah, I know everybody. Neanderthal ancestry. Show mama. Hey, Cassandra, you have more Neanderthal DNA than 9% of other customers. But I have less than 2% Neanderthal DNA.
So mine says, hey, Kelly, you have more than Neanderthal DNA than 23% of our customers.
Oh, my God. Yeah, it says I have 204 variants in my DNA that tie back.
What was the number again? It was 256.
It was 250 something. I love that for you.
Cool.
I love that. So, crushed it. So anyway, now we know. If anybody wants to share how much Neanderthal they have in them, please
let us know. We're curious.
Let us know. So yeah, anyway, that's it on the Denisovans. This was
extremely fascinating.
It's pretty crazy that they can deduce this much just from like DNA testing and then just these small fragments of fossilized remains that we have. I think it's crazy. You know how much I love science. The listeners know how much I love science. So I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'll cover this. Let's do it.
Yeah.
But then it's just like, oh, and by the way, we still don't really know what they look like. We don't really like. It's pretty crazy.
We still have no idea about this, but we know that your DNA carries some. You're welcome.
Also, we know that they existed. The end. Like, that's all there is. So I guess today's episode is brought to you by Don't Drink the Kool-Aid. If it quacks like a duck, it's a cult. And we've all got some Neanderthal in us. And let us know. I want to know. Put it in the comments what your percentage is if you've done the whole like
yes,
23andMe or whatever.
Please,
I want to know.
Please do. We're curious.
All right. On let's wrap this mother up. Let's go to the next one. So,
Yeah,
well, we'll see you next week. We'll see each other in 5 seconds. But
exactly.
until next time.
Stay strange.